From downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 5 starts now.
Good evening. A woman is dead and one person is behind bars in what Bakersfield police are calling a street race that ended with a deadly crash. 23 ABC's Alex Bell has the latest on the collision. Alex?
Yes, Jess. On Sunday night, tragically, a street racing crash took the life of one local woman. Family have identified her as 57-year-old Maria Vianney Navarro. Now, she was actually in the vehicle with her two grandchildren when a red Mustang and a gray Dodge hit her minivan, and it sent her into the southbound lane on White Oak and Old River Road. It actually sent her minivan into the middle of the intersection, and it spun out of control, and her car was actually broadsided by a crane truck. Now, unfortunately, Navarro did die on the scene. Her two grandchildren were seriously injured, and they were flown to Madera Children's Hospital, where they are still currently at. And right now, I'm at El Portal West, where she was a chef. Navarro worked here for many years, and I'm actually joined with her niece, Joanna Navarro. Joanna, I do know that this is very hard for you and it's a very hard time for your family, so we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. But most importantly, what we want to know is, how would you describe your aunt, if you could say a little bit about her to us?
My aunt was a lively person. Everyone who knew her loved her. She was always with all of her family. I mean, every picture we can find of her, she's just with all of the kids in the family, just hanging out with family. She was a pillar for our family. She took care of her parents, of her grandchildren. So she was just a really important person to all of us. Just lively, happy, gregarious, always found the positive in things.
And of course, we want to know, how are the children doing? Are there any updates on their condition that you can give us?
Well, they just got out of surgery. One of them had the two broken legs and the broken pelvis. He recently just got casted, and so he's in recovery. Just got out of surgery, and same thing for Jasmine. She recently got out of surgery as well. So they're both, just a long road to recovery, but they just got out of surgery.
And is there anything that you would like to share with the community? I know that you are putting up flyers here where she worked. Is there anything you want to let the community know so they can share in her remembrance?
Well, we do have the GoFundMe to, just try to wrap all of this up to have the funeral service and, to help with the medical expenses. But, I think it's just also like the whole street racing thing. We're coming up on like 24 hours since she died. And it was just like a surprise to all of us. Like, it could really just be anybody's family. I mean, so many people get off work around 4 or 5, so many people driving. So, the way it was my aunt, it could really be anybody's family, anyone getting off work at that time, anybody's kids walking home from school, just anybody on the street. So, unfortunately, it was my aunt, but, I hope that they do something so it's not other people's aunts or children or family or grandchildren. So I hope, something's done about the street racing thing.
Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate it. And thank you for sharing a little bit about her with us. I appreciate that. Now, to find out more information on the story, we do have some updated information on 23 ABC, but I do want to let you guys know quickly that a person has been arrested, 50-year-old Ronald Pierce. He has been arrested in connection with this fatal crash, and he has been booked this morning at the Kern County Jail, and he was arrested for driving under the influence, gross vehicular manslaughter, while also intoxicated, and reckless driving. He is due in court tomorrow. But for now, live in Bakersfield, I'm Alex Bell for 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Alex, thanks for that. And Chief Lyle Martin issuing a statement just moments ago about the department's efforts to put an end to illegal street racing. It said in part, quote, "The Bakersfield Police Department is committed to protecting the lives and property of the people we serve. We will continue our efforts to stop the public from engaging in illegal street racing activity." He went on to add, "We are working on a plan to partner with the California Highway Patrol in the immediate future to further impact the areas where the majority of the reported activity is occurring." With the approaching holidays, the Bakersfield Police Department would like to remind and implore the public to drive safely. Now, BPD also said they have been doing enforcement in that area for several days. Of course, to read their full statement, you can head to our website, turnto23.com. And it was a deadly weekend on Kern County roads as another woman and a man died in 2 other crashes. Bakersfield police say it happened just before 3 yesterday morning on Hosking Overpass. The victim, a man, died at the scene in a hit-and-run crash. BPD says a white mid-2000s Toyota sedan was seen driving away westbound on Hosking Avenue. They're asking anyone with information on the crash to call them at 327-7111. And yesterday around 2 p.m. Bakersfield police say a woman was driving west toward Hughes Lane from Holden Way, making a left turn when her vehicle collided with another vehicle driven by a 20-year-old man heading north on Hughes Lane. The woman, identified by family as 50-year-old Peggy Candler, died at the scene. The 20-year-old man in the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and is expected to be okay. Police say it is unknown if speed, drugs, or alcohol played a role in the crash. Officials say the day before Thanksgiving is the busiest traveling day of the year, which is exactly why public safety officials are urging the public to be cautious on the road. 23 ABC's Bayan Wang joins us live from downtown Bakersfield with more on what advice California Highway Patrol officers have for drivers. Bayan?
Jessica, from what we're learning right now, the weather is not going to favor a good travel day on Wednesday. It's going to be a big challenge for public safety officials. On top of Wednesday being the busiest traveling day of the year, the National Weather Service tells me that they are confident that there may be up to an inch of snow on the Grapevine along that several mile stretch there. CHP telling me that they've closed the Grapevine down before, and if traffic collisions are apparent, if the visibility is low, if the weather conditions are making it hard for travelers to get up safely, they're going to shut it down. A lot of Bakersfield residents here telling me that they just don't want to deal with it. They had Thanksgiving plans, they canceled it. They're staying home this season. For others who are planning to travel, here's what you need to know.
We want to caution people to slow down. Take your time. If you can leave early, leave early.
Leaving early is usually a general rule of thumb to be on time. But this holiday season, that phrase may keep you and your loved ones out of the hospital.
We're definitely expecting an increased amount of crashes, especially with the rain. It's just going to complicate matters even more.
The complications get even worse near the Grapevine on Wednesday morning, according to National Weather Service meteorologist Chris Matarocchia.
There could be an inch of snow in, say, like a 6-hour period on Tejon Pass, I-5, and the threat for potential slowdowns, road closures, pacing.
Imagine that. The Grapevine shut down, your holiday plans canceled or delayed. Well, several Bakersfield residents say they already saved themselves the stress by canceling their plans early.
We don't want to take the chance. That's all it is. It's not worth getting in an accident. I think that's the main thing.
We're not risking that chance, taking the kids and driving there and back on Thursday. It's just not going to happen for us.
But for others planning to travel, regardless of road and weather conditions,
you're going to be on the roadway with millions of other Californians, so we want you to slow down. We want you to increase that following distance between your vehicle and the vehicle that's in front of you.
These conditions call for being more prepared than usual.
Make sure you're ready for it. Warm clothes, extra food, flashlight, extra medication, even tire change too.
Check your brakes. You want to be able to stop. Most people don't realize you have a brake problem until you have a problem.
For now,
hoping to see family and get home in one piece.
Now, aside from monitoring weather conditions, CHP will assign a special task force between Wednesday and Sunday to monitor DUI drivers, doing seatbelt checks, and just making sure that everybody is being safe on our roads. For reference, last year when they did do this enforcement, they arrested 43 people for DUIs and also responded to one fatal car accident. Of course, with weather conditions being terrible on Wednesday and Thursday, they're just urging everybody to drive with extra precaution. For now, live in downtown, Bayan Wang, 23 ABC, connecting you.
All right, Bayan, thanks. And we want to show you now, CHP Fort Tejon posted on social media a map of alternate routes of travel if the Grapevine closes due to snow. They went on to say they are expecting snow on the Grapevine starting this Wednesday, and they add that they always hope to keep the Grapevine open, but obviously safety is the top priority. So if conditions become unsafe, CHP will hold traffic until Caltrans can make the roads safe. However, if you are not from the area or if your loved ones are driving into town, I would suggest screenshotting this map and sending it to them. You, of course, can find it on the CHP Fort Tejon Facebook page, our Facebook page, and of course our website, turn23.com. 23 ABC's Josh Sanders standing in for meteorologist Allison Gargaro tonight. Josh, all eyes are going to be on this storm.
Yeah, busy time as we head into the busiest holiday of the year. Last year, according to AAA, 48.5 million travelers on Thanksgiving. So that's something that we're going to be tracking as we're tracking these storms, which are, look, cooling temperatures down, 58 degrees out there, a 5-degree difference over the last 24 hours. But look at this wind speed. Northwest winds at 15 miles per hour. And that's what I want to touch on, especially in our desert communities right now. 48 mile per hour gusts from Mojave, Cal City at 26. Earlier today, just a couple hours ago, they were hitting 70 miles per hour. So the National Weather Service has put out a high wind warning that's going to extend for our desert communities. That's going to go through 10 p.m. tonight. So if you're traveling, you need to be aware of that, especially when it comes to visibility as it gets darker. But we're tracking this system from the Pacific Northwest coming through. It's going to push on land come Tuesday night into the early morning hours of Wednesday. That's going to cool us down and potentially bring us snow and rain. Just how much, I'll have that coming up on our full forecast.
A Bakersfield man and documented Westside Crip gang member has been sentenced to more than 25 years in prison. 34-year-old Jarvis Thomas, also known as Big Mice, was sentenced to 26 years in prison and 5 years of supervised release for conspiracy to distribute meth and possession with intent to distribute meth. According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, between September 27, 2017 and September 11, 2018, Thomas conspired with others to possess and distribute meth in Bakersfield and North Dakota. Now, if you remember, back in December 2017, after a 10-month investigation, more than 35 members and associates of the Westside Crips were arrested on federal and state charges. That included Thomas. All of the defendants pleaded guilty to charged offenses. Other court news today. Monsignor Craig Harrison's lawyer back in court today to discuss his case for a defamation lawsuit. Lawyers on both sides went back and forth about whether Harrison is considered a public figure and if the defamation lawsuit is valid. The judge then said the anti-SLAPP motion is under submission but still needs to review documents. The judge added they are still waiting on the protective order that Harrison's lawyer needs to draft. Meantime, a former elementary school principal charged with gunning down her husband returned to court this morning. Leslie Chance was in court for the start of her new trial. Back in June, Chance's case ended in a mistrial when the public defender's office declared a conflict of interest in representing her. Chance is accused of killing her husband, Todd Chance, back in 2013. She's facing a charge of first-degree murder. Her retrial is expected to begin in about 2 weeks.